Welcome once again to my studio. Today, I'm taking you behind the scenes of another personal project, the Cinder Thorn, the second Shadow Sovereign of the Eternal Siege universe. This isn't just a miniature, it's a piece of living myth that I've brought to life using my 35 years of experience in painting and design. What you see here is a world exclusive, a hand-painted, serialized, collectible miniature that serves as the authoritative reference for this character. But before we talk about the paint and the resin, I want to talk to you about the man who became this monster. To design the Cinder Thorn correctly, we have to understand the tragedy of a king who became a pawn. Part 1. The Fall of Cardinal Ignavar Purus. Before the fire knew his name, he was Cardinal Ignavar Purus. He started as a humble priest, convinced that sin could be absolved through pain and punishment, genuinely believing that only these could truly cleanse the soul. But as he rose to power, his faith withered and was replaced by an obsession with control. The turning point was his first flame addiction. During a now usual confession torture session, he was knocked into a basin of fire by a prisoner. Instead of fearing the pain, he became addicted to it, viewing fire as a tool, a private obsession for godhood and control, rather than mercy. Punishment through fire became a spectacle for all to see. But his final damnation wasn't just an accident. When he tried to burn an innocent family, God intervened, not to save him as he thought, but to wrap the flames around him in judgment. After slowly corrupting him through the years, hell dragged him down, not to erase him, but to reforge him into an instrument of eternal punishment. Part 2. Designing the silhouette of a pawn, not a warrior who burns, but a judge that condemned that was finally condemned. Now, let's look at the silhouette. My goal was to move away from a conscious being and toward a mindless beast of rage who has lost all the control he once craved. Notice his posture. Although upright and imposing, the Cinder Thorn is in the act of erupting or pouncing, reading as a figure who has been judged and punished. He isn't a warrior, he is a condemned judge now serving as a mindless pawn, doing the biddings of hell. Although conscious, he cannot do anything to exert control, just obey and attack the assigned target, venting on it all its fury for this eternal punishment. Look closely at the horns. I designed them to echo a corrupted crown or mitre, an inverted ecclesiastical crown. It's a visual reminder that this was once a prince of the church, now reduced to a simple pawn of hell with zero authority. Part 3. Bound Flames and Manifestation. The most critical part of this design is the flame integration. You'll notice the fire doesn't crown him like a god. Instead, it appears bound to his body, erupting violently from the ground beneath him and from his back, consuming his body. This visualizes his manifestation pattern. In the lore, he starts as an ember and flames in ancient times, or often hiding in the heat of modern technology or simple candles to observe, move unseen, and gather information until it's time to act. Then comes the eruption. He tears upward from the floor or where he is hiding in a sudden explosion of violence. Once he locks on to a target given to him by hell, he is obsessed. He cannot be diverted until that target is totally consumed or he is consumed. When you paint these flames, they should look like an intrusion in our reality, and then a punishment he is forced to endure while he carries out hell's will. Part 4. Textures of Eternal Agony. When it comes to the miniature's surface, I avoided typical battle wounds. I've sculpted and painted it to suggest scorched flesh, cinders, and ritual damage. The horror here is that his nervous system remains fully intact. Hell ensures that every pain receptor is awake, so that he feels the eternal punishment, burning of his body with every movement. I used deep, continuous heat scarring and burned meat tones to support the idea that fire isn't his weapon, it's his cage. The sculpt, too, shows what remains of his organs in his chest and abdomen being consumed by flames. For Hell, though, he is a precious instrument, because as a former human, he can manifest physically and do Hell's biddings, where pure demons cannot.
Conclusion. Own the legend. The Cinder Thorn is the second pulse of the eternal siege, the infiltrating executioner who follows the spy to erase faith or heresy where these grow strongest. Every miniature I produce, from serial number 001 and beyond, is a unique artist-signed artwork that captures this dark legacy. What I hope from now on is that you will pay more attention to the temperature of your chip cores or the heaters beside you. It will mean that once again I have reached my intent of immortalizing the Cinder Thorn in your memory, and maybe at that of your future generations you will pass it to. If you want to own the authoritative proof of one or all three of the Shadow Sovereigns, visit me at dressart3d.com. Own the darkness, own the legend, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thanks for appreciating my art.